Hello, dear students. I welcome you all on behalf of Sri Jayendra Rangjun classes. Dear students, we are studying now the chapter that is Morphology of Flowering Plant. And in this chapter, in some of the previous classes, we have already studied about the vegetative plant parts like root, stem, and leaf in detail. Now, today, we are going to study the topic that is inflorescence. And if we define inflorescence, then it is the arrangement of flowers on the floral axis, and that is termed as inflorescence. Means when many flowers or a number of flowers are arranged on one stem axis, then that stem axis is going to be known as floral axis. This floral axis is also known as a peduncle. Okay, this floral axis is also known as peduncle. Okay, now here when inflorescence is there, what happens? The number of flowers are there, and as we know, the flower is a modification of shoot, and in this the shoot apical meristem actually changes into the floral meristem, and this floral meristem turn into or change into the flower. And in when a stem is or apical meristem is getting modified into floral meristem and converting into the flower, then in this it is a nothing but modification of stem. So it should have a node and internode. But in the flower, internode do not elongate. And due to this, the axis or peduncle get condensed. And when peduncle get condensed, the apex produce a different type of floral appendage at successive node. At each node, you will find a presence of different type of appendages at the node instead of leaves. Because all these appendages are the modification of leaves. So what is the axis of inflorescence? It is a peduncle and which is a modified shoot. So what is the inflorescence? Here is the arrangement of flower on the floral axis or the peduncle, how the flowers are arranged. That we are going to understand the inflorescence, and it is found in a different way. So what happens first? You know that stem is there. On the tip of the stem, there is a shoot apical meristem. The tip is growing, and during the maturity, it converted into floral meristem. This floral meristem has ability to form a flower, so it produces a floral shoot, and that floral shoot is getting modified into the inflorescence. So apical meristem is converted into floral meristem, which is going to form a floral shoot, and that converted into inflorescence. So here you can see that this is the shoot apical meristem in birds, and this will grow and the conversion into inflorescence will be observed. Now, depending on whether the apex get converted into flower or a continue to grow, two major type of inflorescence are defined as. Okay, so apex is there. If apex keeps on growing without terminating into the flower, then it is a one type. And if it terminates into the flower, growing point terminate into the flower, it is another type. So here, two types of inflorescence we are going to study mainly. First is racemose and another is the zymose. In racemose, actually the tip to grow, keep continue to grow. Whereas in zymose, the tip convert into flower or particularly this thing. So first we are going to understand this racemose inflorescence. What happens in this? Let's understand. In a racemose type of inflorescence, the main axis continue to grow and the flowers are borne laterally in an acropetal fashion. Here, the main axis or tip of the axis is keep growing without terminating into the flowers. And the particularly flowers are originated laterally and in acropetal succession means Towards the growing point, younger flowers are present. So in acropetal arrangement, youngest flowers are present at the top of elongated axis or on the center of a truncated condensed axis. So if they are present on the center of a truncated axis, then it is known as centripetal arrangement, we can say. Okay. So see, if you want to understand this, suppose this is a stem and it is growing as it keep on growing. But on the node, you will see the presence of flower like this. Okay. If the axis of all is same and it is condensed, then this is a younger flower and this is the older flower. So growth is occurring toward the center, so it is known as centripetal arrangement. Whereas younger flower is this one and older flower is this one. So growth is occurring towards the apex, then it is known as acropetal arrangement. So such a way the arrangement of flower can be observed. See, it is a younger flower and it is an older flower. So here Y and W represent O represent the same. So when a stem keep growing, tip keep growing without terminating into the flower, it is a racemose. But based on the branching characteristic, this racemose inflorescence is of two types. That is simple racemose inflorescence in which stem is unbranched and on the unbranched stem directly the flowers are arranged. Whereas in compound racemose inflorescence, the stem is branched and you will see the arrangement of flowers on the branches. So it is a compound racemose inflorescence. Now, there are several subtype in racemose category. There are several subtype. And in simple racemose inflorescence, you will see the first type, that is a simple raceme. In a simple raceme, or specifically in this type of inflorescence, it is a long peduncle and it bear a number of pedicellate flower in acropetal succession. See, here it is acropetal, so it is obviously racemose, and pedicellate. They have a stalk of the flower. See, this is a raceme. What here it is going? This is the peduncle, and the peduncle tip is growing. This is growing point. That the and this is the peduncle. But this is the stalk of flower is known as pedicel. So what we have just studied, this is peduncle, this is pedicel. Pedicel is a stalk of flower, and this is the growing point. So this flower form first, then this, then this, then this. They are produced laterally. So this is younger flower, and this is older flower. So because of this, it is a simple showing a simple racemose. So pedicel is present, so it is known as pedicellate flower. And such a type of simple racemose inflorescence is seen in case of the Raphacina sativus, that is reddish, and Brassica campestris, that is mustard. Now, another type of raceme, that is a compound raceme, is found. So if it is we use a term compound, then the branching should be there, and on a branches the flowers are raised. Now this compound raceme, if we talk, then it is also known as raceme of raceme. Okay, and here this is suppose stem. This is the branch. On this node you will see this is the branch, and on the branch the flowers are arranged like this. Then this is known as stem, and this is a branch, and over a branch you will see the arrangement of this pedicellate flower like raceme in acropetal manner. Then it is known as compound raceme, racemum raceme, or panicle. And the example of compound raceme are gulmohar and cassia. Okay, after compound raceme, next type which we are going to study, that is corim. In corim what happens, all flowers are brought to the same height even though they are born at a different node, and this occur due to the elongation of the pedicel of the lower flowers, or the flowers which are arranged at the lower nodes. So this is due to the varied length of the pedicel, and this corim is found in Iberis amara, and it look like this. So here, this is the growing point actually, okay, and here this is the flower, then this flower, then this flower, then this flower, such a way they are originating. But due to the long pedicel of the lower flowers, or the flowers are arranged at the lower nodes, all the flowers come at the same plane or same height, and when they come at the same height it is known as corym. So these flowers are going to be younger flower, so this is going to be older flower. So the growth is occurring toward the center, so it is known as centripetal arrangement of flower. And this corym is found in one of the important example of Brassicaceae family, that is Iberis amara, that is Candida. Now after this, the another type which we are going to discuss, that is corymbose raceme. So if it is a corym, then it should have a varied length. And if we are talking about raceme, then it should be arranged in a acropetal pattern. So suppose this is a stem and this is a peduncle. And if for peduncle, the flowers are arranged, but lower flowers have a long pedicel compared to the upper or younger flowers. So if such a way you will see the long pedicel is present, means it is satisfying the criteria of corym, and it is showing a acropetal arrangement, then it is showing a raceme. So it is following the both the characteristics, so it is known as corymbose raceme. And this corymbose raceme is actually found in mustard. Corymbs is found in mustard, but actually corymbose raceme is found in mustard. But another type is there, that is known as compound corym. Now this compound corym, it is known as corymb of corymb. It is known as corymb of corymb. okay, or compound corym. Now, in this, what happens? Compound corym, if you see, the peduncle is branched. This peduncle is branched, and each branch has a flower or a cluster of flower in a way of corym. So suppose this is coming here and is growing like this, then flowers are coming here and coming at the same plane. Same way, if this is the growing point, terminated growing point, and all the flowers are coming to the same plane. Same way, if this keep on growing, then all flowers come at the same point. So corym type of arrangement is seen on branch, then it is known as compound corym. And this compound corym is seen in case of cauliflower. Dear students, I hope you have seen this cauliflower. When in cauliflower, actually the edible part is this inflorescence. When we bring a cauliflower at our home for as a vegetable, if you open that particular cauliflower, white color cauliflower, and then you will see such type of branching in that part. So in corym or in cauliflower, the part edible part is nothing but a inflorescence. Then after this, we are going to talk about another type that is known as umbel. In umbel, what happens? The flowers appear to have arising from the same point of peduncle. Okay, here in resin we have seen that flowers are arising from the different points, but when the peduncle is so much condensed like that, it is appearing that they are all the arising from the same point of peduncle due to the condensed peduncle. Then such type of inflorescence is known as umbel. It is covered by a whorl or bract called involucre. Bract is what small leaf-like structure at the base of leaf. And if it is in present in the group of bract is known as involucre. Now see this here, this is the growing point. Okay, these are the flowers. These all are flower appearing arising from the one point, but it is not arising at the one point. They are appearing. They are arranged at the different node, but internode are condensed. So they are appearing like that all nodes are fused, and from each node they are arising. So they are appearing like that, particularly arising from the this one. And at the base of each node, you will find some small leaf-like structure. Here you will see this leaf-like structure. This leaf-like structure is known as bract, and the group of bract is known as involucre. Okay, so it is a umbel. Okay, and this umbel is found in case of Centella hydrolytica. And Centella hydrolytica is nothing but Brahmi. Now, apart from this, if we talk about the compound umbel, you can see this is the diagram of compound umbel. In compound umbel, actually the umbel type of arrangement seen on the branches, okay, then it is known as compound umbel, or we can say umbel of umbel. And this compound umbel or umbel of umbel is found in case of some of the examples like coriander, coriandrum, okay, fennel or soft, and then cumin or we call it zira, and these all are the particularly example of umbelliferae or Apiaceae family. Okay, so this is the umbel and the compound umbel. Now, after this, next type of inflorescence which we are going to study, that is a spike. Now, dear students, till now, whatever the type of inflorescence we have studied, like simple raceme, corimbose raceme, corimb, umbel, or compound umbel, in all that what we have discussed, that all particular flower has a pedicel or has a stalk. But from now onwards, or a spike onwards, the whatever the type of racemose inflorescence which we will study, they will have a sessile flower, means in which the pedicel is absent or a stalk of flower is absent. So in spike, which is a simple racemose, the peduncle is unbranched and growing continuously, and here flowers are arranged acropetally like the simple racemose, and it is a type of racemose, but flowers are sessile and bracteate. Now, bracteate flower means bract, a small leaf-like structure which is present at the base of the flower. It is known as bract. So, if bract is present, then it is known as bracteate flower. Okay, but but the flowers are sessile. Sessile means if you can say that the stalk of flower is absent. So the flower having no stalk and grow directly from the stem, then it is known as sessile flower. So you can see this. This flower are arranged in a sessile way directly without a stalk. This is a flower. So if flower is directly attached on the stem, it is known as a sessile flower without pedicel, and it is found in case of the spike. And this spike is seen in case of the example like Echeiranthus. See, these are the flowers. These flowers are arranged directly on the what? Axis. But and it is seen in case of the Echeiranthus. But there is another type which is known as spike of spikelet. So in spike of spikelet, what happens? The peduncle is branched, then in this, on a branch, okay, on a branch you will see the spike sessile flower, and this sessile flower, when covered by two bract, then this is known as spikelet. So when a spikelet is present on the branch in a sessile way, then it is known as spike of spikelet. And this is seen in case of grass family, that is Poaceae, or Gramineae. So dear students, spikelet is means the sessile flower is covered by a two bract. One is fertile and one is infertile, then it is known as spikelet. And when a spikelet is present in a sessile way on the branch, then it is known as spike of spikelet. After this, next type of inflorescence which we are going to study, that is catkin. Now in catkin, if we talk, this catkin is also known as amentum. It is also known as amentum. And in this type of inflorescence, peduncle is thin and weak, and flowers are sessile. Flowers are sessile because it is a modification of spike, and unisexual flowers develop. So when a peduncle is thin and weak, then it is a hanging, and it is a hanging, and or we can call it as a pendulous like. And on these flowers are sessile flowers, unisexual sessile flowers are arranged. So suppose this is the stem, and on this particular hanging peduncle is there, and over which multiple sessile flowers are arranged like this. Unisexual sessile flower on a pendulous peduncle, then it is known as catkin. And this catkin is known to seen in case of mulberry. So in mulberry fruit, you will see this type of arrangement. So that is due to the catkin inflorescence, which is also known as shahatut. Okay, that is catkin. After catkin, next type of inflorescence which we are going to study, that is the spadix. In spadix type of inflorescence, you will see that this is also a modification of the what spike. So it has also a sessile flower. But in spadix, you will see the presence of unisexual and neuter flowers. Neuter means sterile. Unisexual flower are both type, that is of male flower and female flower. In this, all the flowers are arranged in acropetal section because it is a simple racemose. And here, the entire inflorescence is protected by a large fertile bract that is known as spathe. So what is meant by spathe? Spathe is a modified bract, and by modification it is a large fertile bract. So you can see in case of this particular, there is this is a spathe. Actually, this is this spathe, which is a large fertile bract. So spathe is a large, colorful, fertile bract. This is cocoa, in which also you will see this spathe. Here also you will this spathe. But what is spathe? Spathe is a large green or colorful, large, colorful, fertile bract. Okay, then it is known as spadix. And the example of spadix, if we say, then that are the simple is found in case of the colocasia. In Musa, you will see the compound spadix. Musa is nothing but Musa paradisica, that is banana. And in banana, you will see compound spadix means on branches the spadix arrangement is present. Now it is covered by a spathe, but on peduncle, how the flowers are arranged that we need to understand. So to understand this, this diagram will help us, and which is showing us spreading inflorescence. See, this is a large fertile brake that is known as spathe, and this is a peduncle. And on this peduncle, you will see the arrangement of flower. So this is suppose a peduncle, and in this peduncle, you will see that towards the base, the female flowers are arranged. These are the female flowers here, and they are unisexual female flowers. And above that, you will see the particular presence of male flower here. And in between these two, you will see the neuter or sterile flower. So this way flower arrangement occur on the peduncle, and which completely covered by a whole large fertile brake that is a spathe. The examples we have discussed. Okay, so this is the spadix inflorescence. Now after this, the next which we are going to talk in a simple racemose inflorescence, that is a racemose head, or we call it a capitulum inflorescence. Now in a racemose head or capitulum inflorescence, we'll study that in this type of inflorescence, peduncle is condensed, or we can say flattened into a disc-like structure. And on peduncle, unisexual and bisexual flowers are produced. So it is a flattening of peduncle occur and over which flower are arranged. And in this flowers are also sessile and bracteate because they have a bract at the base of the flower, a small leaf-like structure. And in this flowers are developed centripetally on the condensed or flattened peduncle. So if you see the capitulum, it look like this. See in this. This is the peduncle and this is the flattened peduncle. Flattened or condensed peduncle, and over which this flower are arranged. Now in this flower, here you will see some leaf-like structure that are known as ray floret. And this you will see the structure that are known as disc floret. And disc floret are arranged centripetally, so towards the center, the younger flower of disc floret are there. Now the question is why we are using a term floret, because these are the incomplete flowers. Means out of the four walls of the flower, they may have a one or two walls, but all walls like calyx, corolla, androecium, gynoecium, all are not present in this flower. So due to the presence of this type of incomplete flower, they are known as floret. Now if you see this flattened peduncle or condensed peduncle is also known as the receptacle, we remember, and over which all small sessile flowers are present. Now, if we talk about the ray floret and disc floret, you will come to know that these florets can be unisexual, bisexual, and sterile. But in this, you will see that ray floret show the zygomorphic symmetry, and they are pistillate, means they are female flower. Okay. Whereas the disc floret have a actinomorphic symmetry and bisexual. Now, in this type of inflorescence, you will see that this Here also you can see the presence of bract, and this bract from a group that is known as involucre. Okay, in this, single insect can easily pollinate multiple florets within a very short time without having to fly from one flower to another flower. They can easily, particularly, pollinate the different flowers by just single insect within a short period of time because all flowers are arranged closely. And the ultimate advantage is that in this mass pollination helps the setting of seed in most racemose head or capitulum inflorescence. And due to the setting of seeds for the reproduction, the multiplication of these plants can occur and the species get continued. So this is the capitulum or head, and this capitulum or head is seen in case of the sunflower. You will see that in sunflower such type of arrangement is seen. So sunflower is example of the Asteraceae family. Asteraceae family is also known as compositor family, and if we see this type of thing is seen. See, whatever the yellow colored part you see that are known as the ray floret, and this is the disc floret. Okay, so if you see the diagram of sunflower, you will see that such arrangement is seen like this of disc floret and ray floret, and it is seen the helianthus anus, that is sunflower. Apart from sunflower, some examples are there like marigold and zinnia. Marigold is also known as Tagetes. So two important examples you should remember like Tagetes, marigold and sunflower. This is capital one influences. Okay. So all this type of influences we have studied. If the simple one is there, then it is a raceme. If it is having the sessile flower, it is a spike. If having the one, all the flowers arranging from the one point, it is umbel. If it having a flattened receptacle and the florets are arranged, then it is a head. And if on the branches the flowers are arranged in the form of raceme, then it is known as compound raceme or panicle. Okay, and all we have studied in this. Now, in this, peduncle is continuously growing, so we can say the peduncle have an indeterminate growth in case of uh, racemose inflorescence, and due to this, we can say this is an indefinite inflorescence. But now, after this, the second type of inflorescence which we study here, that is zymos. So let's talk about the zymos inflorescence. Okay. Now in this what happens? Peduncles show limited growth. Why? Because the terminal bud convert into the flower. But in case of racemose, what we have studied, the terminal apex or a point keep growing without terminating into the flower. But here, the growing point is going to terminate into the flower, so the peduncle will have a limited growth, and peduncle terminate into the flower. So peduncle is condensed. Peduncle is short, peduncle is limited, and that peduncle can either be branched or unbranched. But as we have seen in racemose, there is an acropetal arrangement of flower. Here, the basipetal arrangement of flower is seen, and in basipetal, younger flower are present towards the base. And if it can say that it is a basipetal order or in a centrifugal order, also this particular flowers are seen to be arranged. If we see zymos in detail, in zymos you will see that there is a two type of uh, inflorescence are there. It can be in a branched condition or unbranched condition. In unbranched, we will study the solitary chyme, and in branched, we will study the monocacial chyme, dicacial chyme, and polycacial chyme. Let's understand this. When we talk about a solitary kind, solitary means a single flower. The peduncle terminate into the single flower, then it is known as solitary kind. So here peduncle is unbranched, and so the tip of the peduncle bear a single flower. So you can see this is a hibiscus in which solitary axillary chyme is seen. Yes, growing point terminate into the flower, but it is present in somewhat axil, so it is known as axillary chyme. And datura, where you will see the terminal chyme. So what is actually this? This is the particularly stem, unbranched, okay, peduncle. And the particularly flower is arranged. See, suppose this is the stem, and this is a main stem, and it is a peduncle over which the flower are going to be arranged. But flower does not form at the tip. It is growing in the particularly we can say axil. Then we call it as a single flower is a present in the axil of the peduncle. Then it is known as solitary axillary kind. But if the flower is present on the tip of the peduncle, then it is known as solitary terminal chyme. So solitary terminal chyme is seen in case of the datura, and solitary axillary chyme is seen in the hibiscus, that is a chira rose, and both have a single flower. When the peduncle is branched, the zymous type of inflorescence is further divided into three types based on the number of branches they form. The first type is monocacial chyme, and in monocacial chyme, you will see that in these only one branch is formed. The tip terminates into the flower, and only one branch will be formed. So here in Hamelia, you will see, and in case of Solanum, you will see that is only one branch is forming, and that one branch terminate into the flower. So if we talk about here, then suppose this is the peduncle, it terminates into the flower and it form a one branch, and that also terminates into the flower. And this is the older one, this is the younger one. So younger one are towards the periphery, so it is known as centripetal arrangement. Now, if one branch is formed, then it is a monocacial, and one flower is on the branch, then it is a monocacial. But monocacial is of two types, that is a helicoid and the scorpioid. In helicoid, what happens if this is a stem and this is a peduncle and forming a branch and that terminate into the flower, then this will also form a one branch that terminate into flower. This will also form a branch that terminate into flower, but that is in the same direction. So here you can see this is a forming a first flower. Here this is a growing point and terminating into the flower. Then it is also terminating into the flower. That is also terminating into the flower. But these are all in the what a same direction, same. This all flower are developing on the right side, means all flower is going to be developed on the right side. If they develop on the left side, then all the upcoming flowers are going to be developed on the left side. Then it is known as helicoid. So single branch is formed that terminate into the flower, but on this one side only, then it is known as helicoid, and the examples are heliotrope and mammalia. But in case scorpioid, the only one branch is going to be formed like this, but that one branch develop into the terminate to the one flower, but in both direction. So here it is terminating into one flower, but then the right left side, then right side, then left side, then right side. Such a way, one branch develop on each stem and develop into a flower, then it is known as scorpioid, which is seen in case of the solana. And this is a monocacial kind. Now, when two branch develop, it is known as dicacial kind. So in this, the type of inflorescence, peduncle ends in a flower, and from the basal part of the peduncle, two lateral branches arise which also end in flower, and this type of arrangement is known as biparous or dicacial chyme. So this dicacial chyme is also known as biparous zymose inflorescence. So we can understand here this is a what a main peduncle which is terminated into the flower, and the two little branches originate from the its base that also terminate into the flower, so it is a dicasia. And on this also two little branches originate and that also terminate into the flower, then it is known as particularly a dicasia. Okay, so two branches, development of two branches and then terminate into the flower, that is called dicasia. Now, what are the examples in which diacacial is seen? So, if we talk about example, then this is nothing but bougainvillea and jasmine. Okay. Now, apart from this, the third one which we are going to see, that is a polycacial chyme. This polycacial chyme is also known as multiparous chyme, and this multiple chyme, in this more than two branches are formed at each time. So growing point terminates into the flower. In this particular type of inflorescence, growing point or peduncle ends in a flower, and from the base of it, many little branches arise, which also terminate in a flower. And this arrangement now also occur on these little branches as well. Then it is known as multiparous or polycacial chyme. It is seen in case of the nerium. Okay. So if you want to make a diagram of this multiparous, then you can make like this. This is a growing point which is terminating to the flower. Then multiple branches originate from here, which also terminate into the flower, and that will also develop multiple branches which also terminate into the flower. Okay, so this is the polycacial kind or a multiparous kind, which is seen in the nerium. The one more example, that is calotropis. Okay, so this is the zymos inflorescence where the peduncle terminate into the flower, but in racemose we have studied that there is a what a peduncle does not terminate into the flower. Racemose have an indefinite growth, whereas zymos have a limited growth. Racemose have a acropetal or centripetal arrangement of flower. In here you will see the basipetal arrangement of flower. Now, why basipetal arrangement of flower? Because you can see here this is a older flower and these are going to be the younger flower. So the growth is particularly from center to periphery, then it is a centrifugal, and the new flowers are poured from the base, so it is a basipetal arrangement of flower. So let's talk about some of the MCQs. The arrangement of flower on the floral axis, it is known as inflorescence. That is the topic which we are studying now. Then the second question says that inflorescence axis is known as, it is a peduncle. Now somebody can ask, what is the difference between peduncle and pedicel? So peduncle is the inflorescence axis on which the multiple flowers are arranged. So peduncle will be here a multiple flower. But what is pedicel? Pedicel is the stalk of flower. Means at the end of the pedicel you will see only just a single flower. But on a peduncle you can see multiple flowers. Okay. Then what is the example of a simple raceme? The crotalaria show the simple raceme as we have seen in case of this one. What is spathe? We have studied this particular spathe in a spadix inflorescence, and there we have studied that it is a large colored modified bract, and that is a fertile bract. Okay, that we have seen in the particular one. The example of head inflorescence. Head is nothing but racemose inflorescence or capitulum inflorescence, where we have studied that receptacle is formed due to the flattening of the peduncle end, and the bisexual and unisexual flower are arranged over this, which is found in case of the sunflower and the tagetes. The scientific name of sunflower is Helianthus anus, so answer become first. Okay, so these are the two types of inflorescence. which are mainly important according to the NCRT. Now, apart from this, we are going to study some more type of inflorescence which are known as special type of inflorescence. Now, in special type of inflorescence, in some angiosperm, it is known that certain type of special inflorescences are found, and this special type of inflorescence are of three types, that is verticillaster, cythium, and hypenthodium. These three type of special type of inflorescence we are going to study here. Now, here first we are going to study the verticillaster. So let's talk about this. When we talk about verticillaster, it is a ball-like special inflorescence present at the node of the main axis. And in this inflorescence, initially diacacial chyme begins, but it eventually terminate or convert into the monocacial chyme, which forms the false wall around the node. So, if we talk about this verticillaster diagrammatically and understand it, in this type of inflorescence, leaves are arranged in opposite manner on the stem, and from the axil of each leaf inflorescence develop. So suppose this is the stem, okay, and this is a node. On node we can say that is a presence of there is a leaf, and in the axil of each leaf inflorescence develop. From the main axis, lateral axis rises on which flowers are found. Now here, these lateral branches bear a flower in the form of diacacial chyme. Means here you will see the particular inflorescence which is terminate into the flower, and then this is also going to be terminate into the two flowers or two branches are going to be originate. So it is a diacacial chyme. So here also it form two branches, so it is a dicacial chyme. But this dicacial chyme is followed by a monocacial chyme, and that is scorpioid, like this. So you can see this is the part which is showing a what? Scorpioid arrangement. And this is the part which is showing a dicacial chyme. So here the dicacial chyme is eventually turned into the monocacial chyme, that is specifically scorpioid. Then it is known as verticillaster. And this verticillaster, a special type of inflorescence, is a characteristic of the feature of a Labiatae family. Which family? Labiatae family or a Lamiaceae family. And if we talk about the examples of this Labiatae or Lamiaceae family, then these are, if you see the example of this Labiatae family, then they are Salvia and Ocimum. Ocimum is nothing but a Tulsi. Now, apart from this, the next special type of inflorescence which we are going to study, that is Cythium. When we talk about Cythium, in this type of inflorescence, a naked or aclamidous stalked and unisexual flower are arranged in zymosome manner inside the cup-like involucral bed. So it is a cup-shaped structure is formed by the group of bract by a fusing. And in this, if we see, aclamidous flowers are seen. Now here aclamatus or naked, if we talk, it means in this type of unisexual flower, both calyx and corolla are absent. So when we talk about inflorescence are naked or flower naked or eclematis means the both calyx and corolla are absent. But they have a unisexual male and female flower which are arranged in a zymos-like manner inside a cup-like structure. So if we want to understand this, we can make a one surface diagram. When we see morphologically, the diagram will look like something this. Okay, and in that you will see that these are the bract, and this bract is forming a group. So this whole involucre is present. But on this involucre, you will see here this particular glands that are known as nectaries or nectariferous gland. Okay, so this margins of this particular cup-shaped structure have a secretory glands. Okay, or nectariferous gland. We can call it as a nectariferous gland, which secrete nectar. And from the above, you will see one particular flower is coming outside, one carpel is coming outside, and this carpel, if you see, have a structure like this somewhat. Okay, so central part have a cup-shaped structure which is coming outside. Now, if we see its transverse section, then in transverse section you will see that there is a particular this female flower in the center, which is actually coming outside like this. And this particular flower is a female flower. And this female flower, if we talk, which is just represented by a carpel that mature earlier, and due to the growth of pedicel, this single flower comes out of the cup-shaped structure. So this Acalemydes female flower, which is represented by a carpel only, and calyx corolla are absent, it is surrounded by many small Acalemydes male flower like this, which are represented by just a stamen. But the maturity of female flower appear before the male flower mature. And in male flower also, the male flower which are present towards the center, they mature earlier, and the peripheral flower or a flower which are present towards the periphery mature later. So maturity occur from center to the periphery. And here male flower are just represented by the stamen. So this is the Scythium inflorescence. So in this Scythium inflorescence, if we talk about a ratio of female to male flower with respect to number, with respect to number, then it is 1 is too many. Okay, in this particular Scythium is seen in. So the whatever we have understood, it is written here, is represented by single stamen, stalked stamen, many male flowers, and the monoecial pattern, the single tricarpellary female flower is seen, and it is a characteristic feature of Euphorbiaceae family that you should understand. So if they are present in a Euphorbiaceae family, the example are going to be Euphorbia and poinsettia. Now apart from this, you can see this is the actual thing of this. These are the nectaries actually, or nectariferous gland. This is the one Aclamidas female flower, which is actually tricarpellary like this. And here you will see many male flower like this. Here you can see these are the male flower which are represented by stamen. Like this you will see the particular whole cycle in case of euphorbia. Now the last inflorescence, a special type of inflorescence which we are going to study, that is hypanthodium. And hypanthodium is a fruit-like inflorescence. In this, the peduncle is modified into a dipped cup-like fleshy structure known as receptacle. And in this, many sessile unisexual flowers are irregularly arranged. Here also unisexual flowers are there, and all three types of unisexual flowers are present, like a unisexual male flower, unisexual female flower, and the neutral flower. In these, the male flowers are located near the opening and the female flowers at the bottom, and in between them, sterile flowers are present, which are known as gall flowers. So, how they look, that we need to understand. Okay, so the question can be asked, which is the fruit-like inflorescence? Then you will answer that is Dihypenthidium. Now, if we see about the structure and understand the particular first this inflorescence, then you will understand many things. Here you can see this is showing a hypenthodium inflorescence. So in this hypenthodium inflorescence, you can see this is what peduncle. So peduncle get flattened like this, and it form this cup-like structure, and then you will form this cavity. Okay, and in this cavity there are some hairs, and here the pore is known as ostiole. Here you will see that male flower are towards present towards the ostiole, female flower are present towards the base, and sterile flower are present towards the in between. So here you will see this is the ostiole, and here you will see this is the presence of what? A male flower. In between you will see the gall flower, that is a sterile flower, and at the base you will see the long styled female flower, that is the what that are fertile. This gall flower are also a female flower, but they are a short styled female flower. So if such a way the arrangement of flower occur, then it is known as a hypenthodium. So what is happening here? Again, remember this. The upper part of the peduncle is modified into the pear-shaped structure and having a cavity with the pore, that is ostiole. At the base of the cavity, here you will see the female flower. Then towards the pore you will see the male flower, and in between you will find the sterile flower. So all three types of flower, male, female, and sterile flower, are present in this inflorescence. And this inflorescence is when form a fruit. The fruit is also like this. So because of we'll call it as a fruit-like inflorescence. See, in this pollination of this plant is takes place by an insect called a blastophaga, which lays of its egg in the gallflower. It lays its egg in the gallflower. And after fertilization, the whole inflorescence become the fruit. So the example, if we take in which this type of particular inflorescence is seen, that is the ficus species that are banyan tree, then fig, and then people. In this you will see this particular type of special type of inflorescence. So all the three type of special type of inflorescence like verticilluster, scythium, and hypanthodium has been understood. Now let's talk about some of the simple MCQ. Special type of inflorescence is obviously hypanthodium, just we have studied. Ball like special inflorescence is, it is a verticilluster. Which of the following is fruit like inflorescence, just we have studied, it is a obviously hypanthodium. Then goldflower are present in, so goldflower are the female flower, a short styled sterile female flower, which are present between the fertile male and female flower in case of the hypanthodium inflorescence. So dear students, so this is all about the inflorescence. We have studied this in detail. I hope you understood well. Okay. So how the flower are arranged, that we have discussed. Now what is the remaining? The structure of flower. So in the next lecture, we are going to talk about the flower in detail. Till that, thank you everyone.